Hello class, so for this video I'll be going over how to set up your Chrome browser. Two prerequisites are that you install Chrome, so you do need to install this application. Although it's an internet browser, it's not cloud software. In fact, in order to access cloud software, you do need a browser, and browsers do have to exist on your computer. So you do need to install it. I'll be putting a resource, a guide on how to install it in the week 4 modules. I'll also be including a second prerequisite guide, which is a Gmail account, a Google account. So you do need one of these accounts uh, in order to take advantage of all the features that Google Chrome has to offer, and some of the features and services we'll be looking at in the Google Suite over the next few weeks. That's Docs, Sheets, Slides, Calendar, and so forth. So make sure to check out those guides if you don't have Chrome set up, or if you still have some doubts if you have everything you need to set up Chrome and take advantage of all the features. But assuming you have your Chrome browser installed, just like I do here, I am on Chrome at the moment, and I do have a Google account. You're gonna click on the top right. So if you just installed it, it's gonna ask you if you want to sync your account. You're gonna definitely hit yes, and it's gonna prompt you to sign into your Google account, your Gmail. Remember, if you have a Gmail, it's going to be able to save all your information to that Gmail. Without your Gmail, it won't be able to record the history, right? The websites you've been on in the past days, weeks, hours, so forth. It won't be able to save your bookmarks. Those are pages you save. We'll go over some of those features in a bit. So yeah, if you want to save everything, you're going to need this Google account, and you're going to want to sync up your browser to that account. So I'm going to go ahead and sign into a browser. So this is an example of a browser here. All right, so I went ahead and signed into my account. Everything will be synced up to that account. So now if I'm on a different device, but I'm also signed into that account on Chrome, right? Let's say I have Chrome on my phone, Chrome on my computer. Everything's going to be saved across your devices. So whatever you do on this browser will be saved on your browser on your other device, as long as you're signed in. So one of the great advantages to having Chrome and having your account linked to Chrome. So now that I'm signed in, you can see sync is on. Um, I can add more profiles if I want. That's not something we'll cover. We will be covering some of these settings here. But for now, we're synced up. And that means so are all of our devices using Chrome. So let's go ahead and do a homepage setup. So we're going to set up our homepage. So an icon that's pretty universal is these three little dots, just like these three little lines. They typically open up a menu, typically have to do with options, the three little dots. So if you ever see three little dots and you want to see more options, definitely click on it. As you can see, we have a bunch of options here. We can zoom in, zoom out, see our history, our passwords, downloads, open up a tab. We can sign into a different account. Maybe I want to sync up a different Google account. I could do that here. I could print the page. Google Lens, that's a pretty cool feature. You can actually look up images, pictures on the web page and Google search based on that image or text. You can translate a page, extremely useful. So a bunch of settings here. We're going to go actually to the settings page here because we're going to set up our home page as the instructions say here on the left. All right, so if I'm going to set up my home page, let's see. I could just go to the search bar here on settings, or I could access it through these options, these menu options. But you know, we always want to make our life easier. We're going to look up home. And here it is. Let's see what comes up. All right, I'm not seeing exactly what I want, so I'm gonna go home page. Oh, it's not coming up. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna go with just home. All right, let's see. So it says delete, add privacy. So nothing I'm particularly looking for. Here it says home button. So I can usually change this. Now on my computer, notice it says this setting is managed by your administrator. So this is a work laptop and they have set it by default to this page. If you're on your personal laptop, you'll be able to change this value right here. And you can set it, for example, to google.com. So every time you open up your Google browser, it'll open up to Google Chrome. For this particular computer, it is set up to this. So if I hit this home button here on the top left, I know it's a little bit hard to see, but you can see if I hover over it, it says open the home page. It's going to take me to that page. Now, if I would have set it to the google.com website, then it would have gone to google.com, which is how it's set up on my personal computer. All right, let's go on to the next setting. So now that you've set up your home page, that's very useful. Let's go ahead and set up the startup page. So this is, you can set which page or pages appear when you start your Chrome browser, your startup page. So it's slightly different than your home page. So here it says on your computer, open Chrome. At the top right, go to settings. On the left, select on startup and then the open the new tab page. So this is just going to, by default, when you open a new tab, when you start up Chrome, this is where it'll go. So we'll go to settings again. I go to the three dots, top right, settings, and then on startup here, or I can look up startup. Two ways to get to the same place. All right, so open a specific page or set of pages. So we're going to go to on startup, open, and there it is. And then you can usually select right where it's going to open up. There's the open new tab, open specific page. I can't change the page because it's managed by my work organization. So by default, it'll go here. Of course, you can change which page it goes to by changing that value. All right, let's go to some more settings. Let's see. So let's set up the default download location. So we're gonna set wherever I save a file on Chrome. I'll give you an example. So let's say we go to Chrome and I look up picture of dog. And then if I right click, you're on a trackpad, that's a 2-finger click. I can see some options here. I can see a menu of options. I'm gonna put save image as. So by default, it's gonna go to my downloads folder. If I hit save, it'll go there. Sometimes it might not go to your downloads folder. Sometimes you want it to go somewhere else. That's what we're gonna change here on our Google Chrome settings. So we're gonna go to our settings. We're gonna go to downloads and we're gonna adjust those download settings. So again, I'm gonna start from scratch, three dots, settings. Notice the settings open up on a new tab. I'm gonna look up downloads, or I could just go here to the downloads tab. Again, always lean on your search bars though. And then I can change the download location. I can make it the documents. Maybe I want my documents to be my default directory. Maybe I want it to be my downloads folder. It could be anywhere you want. If it's not saving where you want it to go, you just select which folder you want it to go. Desktop is a really useful one. I'm going to keep it as downloads though. So we're going to select that folder. It's going to stay the same. All right, so that's almost it. We're gonna do one more actually. We're gonna do the notification settings. So we're gonna go again, three dots. We're gonna go to settings, and then we're gonna go to notifications. So I don't see it here. I can certainly navigate through these tabs, or I could just look up notifications. Notifications. And typically this is going to be, if you notice here, site settings notifications. This is on site settings. So certain websites might have permissions to give notifications. If you go here to your site settings and then notifications, you can allow or disable certain notifications here. So it says not allowed to certain notifications. So here are some pages. These are allowed to send notifications. If I want to fix that, I can go ahead and three dots, remove, edit, block, and so forth. I can even add a page, right? I could say, hey, google.com, you're allowed to send notifications. A lot of times when you navigate to a new website, it's going to ask you, do you want to allow notifications or not? That just means it'll give you a pop-up, right, if a certain event happens when you're navigating that website. But for the most part, you're going to want to say no to notifications unless it's a really important website. Canvas might be a website you add. for allowing notifications. My Google Calendar, I certainly allow to send notifications. One of my work websites, I also allow to send notifications. So it's all down to your discretion. All right, so next up is going to be using the Chrome browser. All right, so how do we use the Chrome browser? How do we browse the web? There's actually a big old bar here. This bar tells you the website, the actual URL. That's a name for the address, just like homes have an address, right? Websites have an address. So this website has a very specific address. It's support.google.com, and then a bunch of little extra um, routes, a bunch of extra parameters. That's because we're on a very, very specific website, so we're going to have some what looks like nonsense, right? But it just helps identify this unique website on the web. If I want to browse somewhere, I can actually type in the address that I want to go to, google.com. I can go back. Here's the top left. There's a back button I can go back to. Or if I don't really know the website, this actually doubles as a search bar. This wasn't always true back in the day. Browsers didn't always do this. But nowadays they recognize, hey, a lot of people use these bars to search where they're looking for. So you don't actually have to type in the name of the website, like the full address. You can just type in some keywords. So cooking website. And boom, it takes me to cooking websites. Now, for some of you, it might not go to a Google search. Maybe it's going somewhere else. This is something we can also change in the settings. So if you go to settings, and then you go to search engine here on the left, or you can look up search engine. And then notice here on search engine, I can click here, or I can click here. You can change the search engine, maybe like Bing, maybe like Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, some weird ones here. I've seen all kinds of strange ones. I'm gonna say for this class, stick to Google. It's the most popular one. We always want to go with what's best, so make sure Google's your default. If it's not already your default, make sure to change it to Google. So that means when you type in any keywords here, like cooking websites, it's gonna take you to a Google search. Extremely useful. And here we can see a bunch of different cooking websites. So if I go back, I'm back here to our guide. Address bar takes you where you want to go. Open a new tab or window. We've talked about multitasking, how computers, it's essential for them to be able to do two things at once. Well, browsers allow you to navigate two pages at once. And these pages are in different tabs. So for example, I have our class presentation here. I have the guide here. I have Google here. I'm going to close that one. I'm not using that one. I have a password manager article here that I was reading. The picture of a dog that we navigated to, and of course our settings tab. So this allows us to navigate to different pages at the same time without losing track of them, right? Helps us keep track of the different pages. You can open a new page by clicking on the plus sign at the far right of your tabs. If you have a bunch of tabs open, these tabs will start to get smaller and smaller and smaller. Eventually, you won't even be able to see the name, right? Because it's so small. You can close these tabs by clicking on the X next to them. And yeah, that's how you open up a new tab. So then you can navigate to wherever you're looking for, or you can search for a website, right? Whatever you're looking to do on that new tab. So new tabs extremely useful if you're multitasking. Here's a keyboard shortcut on how to do it, Control T or Command T if you're on Mac. You can even open up a new window with Control N or Command N if you're on Mac. You can also do a new window here on the three dots. If you're curious about what this incognito means, if you just want to browse the internet and you don't want Google Chrome to track where you're going, what you're doing, incognito is a useful way. Maybe you'll do that, right, if you're on a public computer, right, and you don't want people to have access to your passwords or your history. Anything you don't want people to see, you can use that incognito window. So another cool feature of Google Chrome. One of the most important, especially if you're a new computer user, is bookmarks. Bookmarks are essential. So one bookmark I have, one web page that I want to have saved is my Los Angeles Community College District homepage. So if I click on this homepage right here, it's going to take me to my login. I can go ahead and sign in. And yeah, this is my faculty homepage. Of course, I would want that bookmarked because I access this page very, very frequently. Canvas, you can bookmark Canvas. Oh, whoops. Let me go ahead and click on Canvas. So it's opening up to my Canvas dashboard. So here we have our class dashboard. So we can see the same modules that you typically see, right? I can also see. If you want to save this page for future use, there's a little star icon at the end of this address bar, right? Where we see the address for this page, there's a little star. Click on that star. For the most part, it's gonna default to your bookmarks bar, especially if you're a first time user. Bookmarks bar is this bar that you can see, right? Here you can see it says Amigos Stand Up, Amigos, KBR. So these are all work tabs, work bookmarks, I should say. React, some of the React documentation and resources I use. So this is a coding language. Yeah, I even for soccer scores, I like to keep track of my favorite soccer teams. So I have a bookmark there. If I bookmark this page, I can change the name here. So you don't have to keep the default name. I can just call it CIS 101 and then bookmark bar and then notice what's going to happen. Boom. Now it's a button on the top of my browser. If you don't see this by default, if you don't see any bookmarks, it might be because your bookmarks bar is hidden. So you can again go to the settings. You could go straight to settings here, or if you notice here, we have our bookmarks and lists. And then there's an option here that said hide bookmarks bar, or in your case, if you want to show it, if you go bookmark and list, you go to show bookmarks bar. So again, the three little dots, bookmark and list, show bookmarks bar. So now I can see it there. You can even right click here and notice you'll see a menu of options, or double click right if you're on a trackpad. And you can open all your bookmarks. You can open them in a new window, incognito window, or even a tab group, a feature I haven't really used. Um, you can add a folder. So just like I have a folder here, React. So if I keep saving my bookmarks, they might take up too much space and I won't be able to see them, right? So if I keep adding different bookmarks, so let's say I add a bookmark here, new tab. Let's say I go to I don't know, ChatGPT, and I bookmark that. Now I can't see ChatGPT. Now I have to click on these arrows to see my bookmark. So if I organize my bookmarks into folders, then maybe it'll be a little bit easier to access them. So let me go ahead and right click. I delete that bookmark. Right click. I can delete that bookmark. All right. So let's say I want to organize my bookmarks. I can right click here and add a folder. Notice I right click directly on the bookmarks bar. To add a folder, I can say, oh, CIS 101. I'm going to make that a new folder. And now I can drag and drop any bookmark that I want into that folder so that they take up less space. So maybe I put my home page in there as well. And now I can access those bookmarks through the folder. I just have to click on the folder to access it. I could rename the folder if I right click on it, or if you go to your bookmarks manager, that's the settings, bookmarks and lists, bookmark manager, you can change the name of all your bookmarks a little bit more quickly. So that's if you want to change a bunch of different names. If you just want to change one name, you just right click on the bookmark and you hit edit. In this case, it's a folder, so it'll give me the rename option. So Adobe Acrobat, edit. Um, Here it says, oh, I can just call it Adobe, for example. I wanted to take less space. Yeah, and look, takes up less space on my bookmarks bar. So bookmarks bar extremely useful if you want to save a page. So like maybe your assignments page, that might be a good one to bookmark. And if you don't want it to have a super long name, make sure to edit it before saving. So you can select this text and backspace delete. and done. There you go. Assignments page. Oh, so this went to CIS 101. That's why I couldn't see it. If I change it to bookmarks bar, then it moves there onto the bookmarks bar. Or I can drag and drop it into my CIS 101 folder. I'm going to go ahead and undo this because I don't really want these bookmarked in my case. I really just want the home page. I will actually, though, I'm going to add Canvas dashboard. So I already have it saved to this folder. I'm going to move it out of the folder because I want to see it since I access it very, very frequently. All right, so that's bookmarks. That's a super handy feature of any browser. Okay, so download files. How do we download files? Well, we already set our download location. I did kind of show how to do that. Let's first search. So I'm gonna open up a new tab and let's search a file. This will be very useful for your lab actually. So let's say I want to find a picture of, let's think of oh yeah, pupusa. So you've never heard of a pupusa? It's a very traditional dish in my parents' country of origin, of El Salvador. It's a it's a delicacy, right, in our country. It's part of our cuisine, very delicious. How do I save this picture, right? Now that I've searched for it, so I put pupusas, right? I don't even have to put pictures. Pupusas. It'll probably give me the option for pictures here on the right. So more images. So Google search. They always have some of the best interfaces because they are some of the biggest products. All right, I want to save one of these pictures. Typically, when you want to save a picture, make sure you click on it to get that bigger image. If you right click on the picture, it's going to give you that menu of options. Remember, right clicking is so powerful, or double click if you're on the trackpad, and I can save the image. And notice my default downloads folder is downloads, so I can save it there. Before I hit save, see that save button, I can change the name of this. I can say, hey, Pupusa, save. Yep, these are some of my other downloads. You even get a download history through your Chrome browser on this cool button here. So you can see all your recent downloads. And you can even see where they saved. It says show in folder. So here, show in folder. It's going to take me to my actual file explorer. And I can see the download that I just saved. All right, let's continue. So that's downloads. We already changed our download location. We're going to do one more. We're going to do printing a web page. So let's actually go to my history. In my history, I can see, so remember those three dots. Then I go to history. This is an article I was looking at. And maybe I want to upload this article, right, for y'all to review for your class. So if I hit print, so I can right click and hit print, or I can go on my menu options here and also hit print, right? Two ways. There's a third option. If you notice, it gives you the shortcut here on the right, Control P. I can actually print out this article. I'm gonna go with Control P first, just to show you. And yep, I get this cool print option. I get some options here. If I want to print certain pages, if I want to go landscape, if I want to send it to a printer or just save it as a PDF. So maybe you don't want to actually print it, right? Maybe you just want to make it a file. Well, that print option does give you that option. If you do the save option, unfortunately, it's going to save it as a different file type, which is HTML. You typically don't want to do that because it's going to save the web code, which is the code used to make the website render on your browser. Typically, most people don't want the HTML, so you really do want to go with the print. So print, it sounds like you want to send it to your printer, but it also works for saving it as a file on your computer. So yeah, there you go. You can save this document. If I don't want all the pages, I can here go select custom pages. I say, let's say I want the first all the way to the fourth page. So I'm gonna go 1-4. And yeah, just the first 4 pages, got rid of that blank page on the end, and I can save it. Of course, it's gonna ask me where to save. Downloads is my default folder. I could save it there. I'm not gonna actually save it though. So I can close my tab with that little X. And yeah, that's the Chrome browser. I do want to show y'all one more now that I opened that article. Let's say I am making a new account, right, on a new service. Let's say I am signing up for, let's go to GitHub. Actually, let's go to maybe something y'all use a little bit more frequently. Let's go to DoorDash. So I want to sign up for DoorDash. I'm gonna show you a couple cool features. So first of all, having a Google account allows you to sign up for other services in a much quicker way. So typically you would have to fill out this form, email, make a password, or you could just use your Google account. So if you continue with Google, it's gonna ask you which account to use, and it'll take those credentials, automatically sign you in super quick. So another great feature of having Google and the Google Suite. I'm gonna go through the process of making this. Something I typically do when I'm making accounts, we'll talk about internet privacy and security in the next few classes, is I don't actually put my full name. You don't have to share your full information with every single application. Now, if it's a work account, right, or if it's a school account, definitely make sure you give your full information. But if it's DoorDash, right, I don't want them to know my full name, first name and last name. So I'm going to go ahead and redact some of that information. And let's go with my school email, so bitusw@laccd.edu. If you're curious, you can also email me at LAHC. They both work. They're both valid emails. So phone number, so yeah, I'd put a phone number there. So phone number is required. Oh, geez, okay. Um, let's see. So yeah, maybe let me pick a service that doesn't ask for my phone number. I don't know, let's go with Zoom. We're gonna sign up. So let's see here. Birth year. I'm definitely not gonna give it my actual birth year. Go 1905, a crazy birth year. I'm gonna go email address, vitusw at lahc.edu. It wants me to verify, so I'm gonna go ahead and verify very quickly. Okay. And typically you see these verifications. The reason is because they're trying to crack down on security by making sure that you're actually, have access to this email that you say you do. They make you verify through codes. So another extra step, we'll definitely cover this more in depth when we get to the security side of things and privacy. I'm gonna give it not my real name, and then we're gonna go with I don't know, let's go with CIS 101 class, and then we're gonna go continue. And check it out. It's gonna ask if I want to save this password. This is what I was trying to get y'all to see. So save a password. It's actually, and I can even view the password, CIS 101 class. Google will actually remember your passwords for you. This is a huge feature of any browser in the modern day. If I hit save, it's going to save it. If I hit never, it's going to forget the password, not ever ask me again. I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to show you that if I sign out of Zoom, my account, I just got to figure out how to sign out. Typically, right, I'm just clicking around, and I'll typically just find the setting I'm looking for just by exploring. I see this profile picture. Usually that's going to give me some option to sign out. So I'm going to hit sign out, sign out of all accounts. All right, if I go sign in, notice lahc.edu, it automatically filled it in for me. Another amazing feature of Google Chrome and modern browsers. So it's not unique to Google Chrome. If you go to your settings and you go to your passwords and autofill, Google Password Manager, notice there's even payment methods you can save. I won't take you there though, because that is sensitive information, but you could even save your credit card info. Password Manager stores passwords for all these different websites. Very, 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 very useful. So no longer the need, right, to remember 100 different passwords. Google will do it for you. All right, last thing I want to show y'all how to do. So let's see. I'm gonna manage this extension. Uh, I'm gonna show y'all how to add an extension. So let's say you're shopping. Let's say I'm on, I don't know, let's go to what's a popular Urban Outfitters. Maybe it's a store that y'all like, or Shein or something like that, right? And you're in the shopping cart, you're ready to buy something. You go to checkout and you want to put in some promo codes. Check out. This extension will actually insert the promo codes for you. So I'm going to sign in with Google. Sign with that. Confirm. Notice I don't even have to like sign in with an actual username and password. It's way easier to do with this. But anyways, this extension, so this is an extra feature that I can add to my browser, can actually apply coupons in the checkout for me. So if I go to this, honey, I'm gonna go apply coupons. It'll actually test out different coupons for me for thousands of websites. How do you actually add these extensions? There's a little icon that says extensions there. You can also access it here in the settings and then manage extensions. If you want to add more extensions, discover more extensions, you go to the Chrome Web Store. And there you go. Chrome Web Store, search extensions and themes. So let's say I want an extension for, I don't know, yeah, coupons. Honey is not the only coupon one. There's Coupon Birds. There's something called Simply Codes. One that I'm going to recommend for everybody is Session Buddy. Session Buddy, I already installed it. If it wasn't installed, it'd give you the option here to install. Here it gives me the option to remove. So once you install it, it'll show up here on your extensions. If you don't see it right away, make sure you hit this little pin button. It'll actually make it show up. If it's not pinned, it'll be hidden inside this like little extensions folder. But yeah, let's say you already get to your extension Session Buddy. Session Buddy is really cool because you can save all the tabs that you were currently navigating and open them at a future time. So let's say I want to save this window and I want to navigate to all these tabs in the future. So I can go ahead and hit save. I didn't give it a title, so let me go 3 dots. Remember, 3 dots is pretty universal. And I can change the title. I'm going to say CIS 101. All right, so now if I were to close all these tabs, they would actually open back up if I go to Session Buddy. And I'm going to prove to y'all by closing everything. It'd be extremely annoying, right, to have to figure that out. So now Google does some saving for you. If you go to history and then recent tabs, it'll actually open them for you. You can restore the window. But Session Buddy can save them forever. It's not just going to be the most recent ones. It'll save them permanently. So here, if I go to Session Buddy and then I go to the 3 dots, I can either click on this one and then go to open, or 3 dots and then open. I'll go ahead and click this one. And then boom, all my previous tabs are back. I didn't lose track of everything. So this is really useful if you're researching, right, a particular topic and you have like 20 tabs open. Definitely recommend Session Buddy. All right, let's go ahead and close these. So we went over password managers, we went over bookmarks, we went over extensions. So tons and tons of things that you can use in your day-to-day for your own internet browsing, for your own classes, for your own day-to-day life, right? Definitely tons of tips I jam-packed in there. All right, so we're done with that demo on Google Chrome. It'll be extremely useful for your lab, which we'll be going over in the next videos. But some internet research tips. If you want to learn anything on the internet, definitely go to Google, right? Google search for whatever websites you want. YouTube, if you want an actual video explanation, right? Step-by-step guide. One of the drawbacks of YouTube is sometimes the videos aren't always the most up-to-date. You'll find that if you're finding for particular settings, if you're on a particular software, right? Maybe it's not the newest software, but YouTube is still extremely reliable. And it's got that advantage, right, of giving you that video component, that visual. And then, of course, ChatGPT, it's kind of like doing thousands of Google searches in 1 second. ChatGPT will do that for you. Always remember, though, right, everything you find on the internet is not always true. Even with this AI, right, it gets things wrong. I gave that example in a previous class. I think it was how many R's are there in strawberry? Oh, I got it right this time. Um, so previously it was saying two R's in strawberry. But yeah, I find that when I'm using ChatGPT, so I was hoping it was going to say two R's. They must have fixed it recently. They do constantly update the model. But I was hoping to show you an example of where it gets things wrong. So for example, I could ask it, how old am I? Or, what's the best thing to do, right? So it's not going to have the answers to everything. It might give me its best guess. I typically notice this when I'm asking very specific questions, for example, about coding. It typically does give me wrong answers. I'm not going to lie. So you can't just be a coder overnight just using ChatGPT. It's simply not there yet. It's definitely a good resource for smaller questions, more general questions, but when you start getting very, very specific, it can get things wrong. So I want you to always remember that everything you find on the internet is not always true. So even ChatGPT, it might seem all-knowing. It gets things wrong. It used to get that strawberry question wrong for some reason. Um, YouTube, right? These are people posting to YouTube. Um, Even on Google, right? These are people posting articles. So always remember to verify your sources, and then keep in mind who the author is, right? Who's the person who wrote this article? Who's the person who submitted this video? And if you're on ChatGPT, make sure you ask ChatGPT, which website did you get this information from? And you have to account for that author's bias or that organization's bias. What is bias? It's the tendency, inclination, or prejudice in favor or against of something, someone, or a group, often in a way that is unfair. If I'm looking for, is soda healthy? AI tells me soda is not healthy, and I can ask it for sources. So here it says nutrition source tells us how much sugar it typically has. Medical news today, UCLA Health. Oh, UCLA, that's a university, one of the best hospitals in the country and the world. I'm definitely going to trust that. Now, if it's Coca-Cola.com, right, and it's telling me, hey, soda is good for you, you should buy more soda. Obviously, Coca-Cola.com, right, is not going to be advertising soda as unhealthy because they don't want to deter customers from buying their product. So yeah, maybe don't, research is soda is healthy on a Coca-Cola website. Maybe go to a medical doctor um, or other reputable source, right? So always be weary of who's posting that information. Remember, anybody can post on the internet. Anybody can make a web page. Uh, Even you, right? That's the beauty of the internet, but that's also kind of the other side of the coin, that sometimes people will post false information. This is especially true if you're on TikTok, if you're on Facebook. Um, Take everything with a grain of salt. If you see a sensational news article, make sure you double check against an actual newspaper, actual news organization. So yeah, as always, remember everything you find on the internet is not always true. So when you're researching for your lab, make sure you do that. When you're researching for any class, make sure you always double check those sources. All right, so that's it for the internet. And of course, there's file management. So file management, question I get a lot when it comes to submitting assignments. People sometimes have trouble finding their assignment. So it's important to know how to navigate your OS's file management. So just a little extra module in regards to this section, because we are going to be dealing with files a lot in this class. So remember, an important task of any operating system is file management. File management refers to the process of organizing, storing, naming, and handling files on a computer or digital storage system. So this includes the creation, deletion, modification, and access of files/folders. So file management is typically handled through file management systems or operating system features like File Explorer in Windows or Finder in macOS. So in mobile devices, you'll look for an app that has the word files in it. Sometimes it's just called files. So I'll be giving a little bit of a demo on files in the following video. So yeah, I'll be going over how to navigate the different directories, create a folder, rename, add, move, copy files, deleting files, and the recycling bin, zipped files, OneDrive, and then external secondary storage. All right, so that'll be in the next video.